right, you guys, just want to go ahead and welcome everybody as you guys are coming on. My name is Michael Reed, and I am the host of the Mighty Mastermind. Today's topic is Master the Art of Legal Networking. And I'm really excited about this one because we have a really great guest coming on who's going to join the mastermind today and going to talk to us all about that. So as you guys know, we always start off with a quick little welcome and just remind everyone that this is a mastermind meeting. This one is only 10 weeks and its focus is on process serving specifically. We'll have other topic-based masterminds moving on from there, completely free, just to kind of help you guys out and help you launch your business. If you're doing process serving in the future, we're going to do notary, property management, and other things like that. So for process serving, I already introduced myself. I'll introduce Mr. Kern, and then we'll kind of go down the line here. So Mr. Kern, previous president of the National Association of Process Servers, president of Direct Legal, and in his humble opinion, it's one of the top companies. Direct Legal is just taking over California, so he's doing a really good job over there. We're gonna take so much from him. Mike, why don't you say a few words?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Mastermind Zoom meeting.
Yeah, Mike's actually been on one of our main members from before, like a good friend of mine, and we did the mastermind for quite a while. What did you say, like a year or?
Yeah, at least a year, maybe longer.
Yeah, it was a while. We did it every week, and we all got to be pretty close, and so it was a really cool thing. And so I hope to keep it going. We all have our own businesses we have to run, so when you can jump in, great. When you can't, you can watch the replays on YouTube. I'm posting them on YouTube now. And so let's go ahead. You guys know the rules. Anybody who's sharing their camera it's an open invitation for me to invite you to introduce yourself. So if you don't want to introduce yourself, turn your camera off just for a moment at least, and then otherwise I'll be calling on you to introduce yourself. No big deal. Just who you are and where you're from, and then we'll move on to the next person. Let's start with how about Joanne?
Hi, my name is Joanne Thompson. I live in Boca Raton, Florida. I just passed my process server exam, and I'm waiting to hear back from my area to move forward.
Very cool. Very cool. Florida is the state I call home now, and so I'm very excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go on to Lawrence. Lawrence, your microphone is off. I'm not sure if I have to ask you. Let me see here. Let me just. There we go. Yeah, your audio is pretty bad. Can't really hear you. Yeah, not a big deal. We'll come back to you, Lawrence. If you get that figured out, we'll come back to you. So, how about Leisha?
Hi, my name's Leisha Foth. I'm in Orange County, California. I'm a registered process server and a licensed private investigator and a notary public.
Very cool, Leisha. Yeah, and Leisha, I'll connect with you more later. We had a break, and very, very good professional here. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
So Lawrence still working on that. Okay, cool. Well, cool. Can you hear me, Lawrence? Okay. All right. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on. If you come back on later, we're going to do some Q&A too. So we're going to have a conversation. It's more meant to be like a group effort thing going on here. So we're all kind of helping each other out. So let's go ahead. What I'm going to do for the sake of the recording is for the presentation portion, I'm going to stop the videos of the people who are not presenting. Okay. And then we can turn them back on once we come on. So Mike, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's go ahead and get started for the sake of time. I know we're going to have more people coming in here as the meeting goes on. It's only 12:05. So, let's go ahead and dive in. So Mike, why don't you talk to us a little bit just to kind of set the scene, where you're at right this moment, and kind of what does your day-to-day look like? I mean, I know, but I want everyone else to know.
Well, of course, every day is different, but our day-to-day flow is how we do things here. You know, we got our intake, and then you got certain court filings that are having to go certain places, and of course, process serving's coming in nonstop. A lot of our stuff is by automation, so it's important to have some really good automation to your system. So as the work comes in, you know, it gets dispatched. A lot of our work now is where the processor used to come into our office, even prior to COVID, a lot of our processors would pick up their daily work. That has greatly changed over the past year. And so now our workflow is, it doesn't matter whether the processor has been here at 10 o'clock this morning and you got to rush at 2 o'clock. Everything is dispatched to the process server out in the field. And a lot of our process servers are got their car set up to accept work without having to drive back to the office or go into Staples. They basically have converted their car into a full-blown office to accept assignments. So the work, we're starting to see a lot of uptick, at least on a day-to-day flow, having to do with rushes coming in after 2:30, 3 o'clock. It seems like because of people working mobily, things are a little bit more difficult for a lot of law firms to get work to the service providers over the past several months.
Yeah. So
that's our daily workflow, but our intake is quite large lately. Clients are now just starting to come back into the realm of working again. I do not believe we're going to see people really go full blown back into the workforce until June of next year, before we really start seeing things back to the normal stage. So,
yeah. Do you think you're going to get hit with an eviction bomb?
Yes, I think January we're preparing heavily for evictions. I've had several clients or people saying, I can't believe you're preparing for this. I go, listen, it's the inevitable. It's nothing personal. I'm not trying to, put people out in the street, but unfortunately, if it's not me, it's going to be somebody else that's going to be serving these legal documents. So,
right, exactly.
And so one of our marketing strategies is that we've been marketing law firms that actually do evictions. And so we're saying here, when they do resume here in California, we're here for you. We can file the proof right away for you for this package price, should we say, or this valued price, we call it. And it is starting to get traction for us. And I believe that we are setting ourselves up to garner new business that we didn't have, or letting our clients that we do have, that we're here for them when they do want to resume. So
wow, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, the whole idea, I mean, everything that we're having to deal with, it's really hard, but this is the business that we've been in. Regardless of the time that that we're going through, you still have to be ready for those evictions, ready for those all the different things. Divorce rates too are up like crazy, so collection obviously from all the credit card companies and banks and repossession companies, that are having to go after it. So good stuff, Mike. I think that really lays the groundwork, because a lot of times when people are watching these, they want to know, like, am I hearing from someone who actually is experienced? And I got to tell you, I've been to Mike's office. It's a big office, got a lot of things going on, a lot of employees, and for his humble guy, it's I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page with what we're getting here. So thank you so much for your time, Mike.
No, my pleasure.
All right, so I got I put together, Mike did not put this together. I put this together, so judge me. Okay, this is kind of our topics that we're going to talk about here. We're going to dive into. These are some of the topics Mike and I were talking about we wanted to go over. So we're going to use it kind of as you guys can take some notes. I'll leave it up there for a second, but these are going to be some of the main topics we're talking about here in the next 10 minutes. So Mike, let's go through them. Which one do you want to start with?
A quality of an affiliate. Let's go with that.
Okay.
So as we know, that like you guys that are all on here could very well be an affiliate for another process serving or attorney service company across the country. And it's really important to make sure that the objectives are set by both parties, knowing what I expect from the affiliate and what the affiliate expects from me. I would assume that the other affiliate on the other end, their major thing that they're expecting is to get paid. Don't promise something you're not going to do. I hear a lot of it, whether it's in our state association or in the national association. We hear all the time is, I did the job 6 weeks ago, I still haven't been paid. Yeah. So I would say the quality of the affiliate that you're doing business with make sure that you understand what the terms are. And make sure that the affiliate that you do choose to use to process your assignments understand your state rules on what has to be done or what is required to affect service or process from the particular state that the work is coming from. I find that affiliates that they're good people. There's a lot of good affiliates out there, but it seems like they want to follow their local rules instead of the rules that from the origin state that it came from. So it's important that the affiliate read your instructions when you send it to them, and that they have which leads into the next part of communication. They have good communication skills. You send a job, they respond by email, or they give you a phone call, let you know the situation. Communication is key. It's really a major thing. But the quality of an affiliate, listen, a good affiliate isn't always the cheapest. I noticed that sometimes says, well, just because you do a lot of work with someone doesn't mean they're always the cheapest. And they could be, and it's because they have certain profit margin that they have to meet, or certain cost in their region or their office that may be different from what I have to pay here in California.
Right.
So it's important that, I hear with these quality affiliates that, you get a really good affiliate and they get upset because somebody else is trying to work them on the price or trying to lower them. Listen, if you want good service, it's just like when you go to a restaurant, you pay for good service, you pay for good food. Unfortunately, it costs a higher price usually. If you want something cheaper, then you go to a cheaper restaurant, or you find another affiliate that more fits into your parameters of cost.
Mike, the whole idea of like mastering the art of legal networking. So what I'm hearing you saying is like, if you are the affiliate, like you're the contractor out in the field, we're going to talk about some of the things that you should do to better communicate and network with the larger companies and even to attorney clients potentially. But you're saying the quality of an affiliate is really important because depending on that affiliate, so like you're a contractor, you're using all these other process servers and you yourself serve and some others in your office. But for you to consider the quality of an affiliate that's boots on the ground out there working for you, is that what you're really talking about?
Correct.
Yeah.
Whether they're working for me or they're a subcontractor that's working outside the state,
Right.
It's important that you have these relationships and that you have good communication. I mean, it's just, I think that's the number one issue with a good quality. When you find a good affiliate that communicates well, does what they say they're going to do, gets it done, reports back the information, you can't put a price on that. I mean, it may cost more, but it's well worth it because it takes away the stress and the hassle of maybe someone that's, doesn't have those kind of skills. And unfortunately, it might have been cheaper, but now you're making 6-7 phone calls, you're sending emails. Where's the proof of service? I need it signed. It has to be filed. So the quality of an affiliate, I always say, in most cases, you get what you pay for, so.
That's good. That's really good. So quality of an affiliate when you're trying to hire someone out, definitely good. You're having that network, and that's what we're talking about here is like being able to network within the legal community. And so what are some of the ways? I mean, I know we could pick some others off the list here, but where do you want to take it?
For example, you don't have it there, but associations. I network a lot in a lot of trade associations. So we'll go with trade associations for me, even though it's not on that list, but trade associations are a big thing. That is one way that you really can make a big impact. For example, I served on the board of our state association, CalsPro, for over 20 years. I was also its president. And I've also I've been on the board, and I'm currently on the board of the National Association of Professional Processors, which is NAPS. And I've been on the board for 6 years, and I've also served as its president for 2 years. You learn so much by working with other professionals around the country and it's just amazing the things that you can learn on how procedures and how things happen, and how you can have a big contract in your particular state, and then you can hone in with all these people you met at conventions, say, listen, I'm going to have work in Illinois, Texas, Florida, whatever state it is, and I would like to really work with you to become this huge network so that I can really provide the service to this particular client that they want. And that's where you build the relationships up. And that's how the company gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, that's where the quality of the affiliate comes in.
That's
you know,
good.
you get a good quality affiliate, they're going to do what it is, they're going to get it done right away, they're going to get it back to you, and it makes you look good to your client. And on top of it, you keep getting the business. So I think trade associations is a big, big thing that everybody should, not necessarily have to run for the board. But you should be a participant on going to these ones in your state, especially if a state association. Absolutely should attend and be a participant in some way. Not necessarily serve on the board, but like I said, be a participant. Go to the conferences, go to the meetings, find out how things are happening, what they're doing to protect the profession. Those are the things that are important. So
that's good, Mike. I got to tell you, when you actually introduced me to associations way back when you messaged me on Facebook and said, hey, CalSPRO is going to be right down the road from you up in Northern California. I think it was San Jose or something. And I was like, okay, you promised to introduce me to some people because I don't know anybody. And you did. And it was like, after that, I was like, wow. And then, since then I've traveled all over the country and spoke at all these conferences, like as I know you have. And, what's the power of being able to actually be seen on stage speaking about something? I know that's something you're really good at. What's the power of that?
Well, I've spoken at many conferences. As a matter of fact, I've spoken all over the world. I've traveled from here to the other end, and I've spoken at many different conferences. The first time you do it, it's a little nerve-wracking. You sit there and look and go, oh my God, all these people, especially when you have hundreds of people standing in front of you and going, they're all staring at you. So a little tidbit trick that I've learned over the years when I first started doing this and speaking maybe about 15, 17 years ago. One of the tidbits, I just tried to imagine everybody in the crowd is Michael Reed. So no matter where I'm sitting, you'll pull out 4, 5, 6 people in the crowd that are all through the thing, and people that you're very close to, and you pull out and you're constantly glazing over the entire audience of those 4 or 5 people. A lot of people think they're looking at everybody. No, the speaker is only looking at probably about 4 or 5 people the entire time that he's up there speaking, and he's just using them as marker points throughout the crowd while he's having this conversation or giving his presentation. So I found that worked out very well. I know many years ago I was told to pretend like everybody's naked in the room, but of course then that would start making me laugh. So
well, if you were super nervous, then it would kind of maybe calm the thing. Like,
right.
Like, do these people realize I'm up here and can see them all naked?
I think when you speak in public, I think the biggest thing I get is the impact that you have on those people, of the information you provided, how it was presented, how you broke it down, and how well received it was at the end, that people say, wow, I didn't know this, or I learned something new, or can I have your PowerPoint presentation you gave? I learned so much from it. And then, the object is to teach others so that they can turn around and teach someone behind them. I got here by many people teaching me along the way, and then I try to carry the torch by passing it off to somebody else and saying, here, these are the things I did. Hopefully it'll benefit you.
That's good. Mike, what do you think? I mean, we got a big list of stuff, but what do you think are like the most powerful things to maybe the top 3 things you would say if someone's like, hey, for example, Mike, when I first started serving, you reached out to me and that was my first like branch. I went out there, I met Trent, serve manager, right? That like, you know how that's kind of spawned into this, with my podcast and everything. And so, your network really is your net worth. Like your overall net worth grows as you meet new people, as you bring new people. So you mentioned something about connecting with these people that have companies in other states, right? And so they come kind of a branch or an arm of your own company. So what are like the top 3 things you would tell that person that they only like serve in their local town? They only know the people in their town, their attorneys. Like the world is much bigger than just your local town. What would you say? What are the top 3 things that they could do to kind of expand their network?
Well, one of the things is, the easiest thing that most process servers either don't have or don't think is necessary is a website. Absolutely the easiest thing that a person has to have. And you have to have a robust website. I mean, a website that you pay $100 or $200 isn't going to do very much for you. You're going to need a quality. If you're going to be in the profession, you have to invest in the profession. And to invest, you may have to spend $2,000-$3,000 right off the bat if this is something you want to do. I'm sitting here making money, and my website is doing the work for me. For example, I have 52 websites. I have my master site, and then I market in other cities that are populated based on population. So I might own a domain that is losangelesprocessserver.com, which I do own. There's a website. That'll give me leads to my business and so forth. So depending on your state, if you're hooking up with other potential processors or independent contractors in different parts of the country or different parts of your state, I would say expand out slowly from your base. Make sure you want to hone in your base and work your way up to other districts that are further expanding from your location. Automatically, if you have a website, if you connect and tell people, hey, I can cover these districts, and you say you have a good affiliate in another county that you can use or a process server and you can dispatch work to him, you would advertise that on your website. Another way to market that I use, is Constant Contact. It's inexpensive, or MailChimp. I think Mike uses MailChimp. I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
MailChimp is another form of distribution. You can buy mailing lists. How about, and here's the one that you would least expect to be the best revenue. I have had flyers made, and it's a full page colored flyer saying our services, and on every service I serve a law firm that we put in an envelope, guess what I put in there? I put my flyer. I'm marketing.
To the person you're serving, the law firm.
The person I'm serving, the law firm,
yeah.
they're being served, they're serving judicial notice, that they're taking a deposition, whatever it is, I put my flyer. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a phone call because I put a flyer or a postcard in and said, hey, I got this postcard. This is great. We were looking for someone to serve papers, or we were looking for someone to file documents, or I didn't know that you offer e-filing. Those are kind of things you're already going to the office. Let's maximize the effort of going to that law firm that you're already going. Because, when you go to a lot of law firms and you try to go in as a cold person coming in by saying, hey, I'm going to try to do a cold sales call, you kind of get blown off to semi-part. A lot of people don't allow solicitation. So here's one where I'm already in your office. The documents are going to go to a legal secretary attorney. It's in their hands, and they're going to get it. So put a flyer in.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Market yourself.
That's a good one. So, Mike, what do you think? Let's bring up this little slide here really quick. What do you think about social media? Because I know you're a lot like me when it comes, compared to a lot of other process servers, when it comes to social media. I made a couple little notes here from what kind of my take on it. But what do you think is the most powerful network?
Between the three of them, well, to me, YouTube by far. Some people believe LinkedIn is. I've gotten them quite a bit of business from LinkedIn. And YouTube videos have done very well. And it's amazing the simplest little YouTube video, how much traction you can get from that, or how many people call you over it.
Yeah.
I had someone the other day call me about some Instagram photo that I had on it. He subscribed and decided to call us and use us to do a writ levy where we were going to levy on a judgment. Facebook obviously is the most popular of them all. But for business-wise, LinkedIn, I connect with thousands of professionals across the country, a lot of them law firms, legal secretaries, paralegal. I also spend a lot of time advertising with the legal secretary profession, putting out flyers. I'll give away free gifts. The thing is to keep marketing yourself, that you just don't stand in one place. I find that people think just because they put up a website and say, here I am, the work is just going to come pouring through the door. It doesn't work that way. Anything that you're going to do, you have to put work into it.
Right.
And so I find LinkedIn really great for promotion. I've even had other processing companies that knew of me, and I posted something I just recently got a client from New Jersey that wanted to use us here in California. They were unhappy with whoever their provider was. Saw some kind of thing that I posted about our services, and if you need anything, reach out to us today. And they did, and now I'm getting quite a bit of work from New Jersey. Something as simple as that.
That's
Didn't
good.
cost you anything. All you had to do is make a little post.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the thing I like about LinkedIn the most is, you can connect with up to 75 new people a day. It limits you about 75, 79, something like that. It's actually based on how many pending requests you have out where people haven't said okay, but you can only have up to 75. And what it is like you can target specifically an attorney in Los Angeles, for example, and where Facebook will only let you have 5,000 friends where you're connecting with people. LinkedIn will let you have up to 30,000. So I imagine you're pretty close to your 30,000 by now.
No,
LinkedIn is
I do have a lot though.
yeah, it's a powerful tool. So good stuff, Mike. So I feel like we wouldn't really do having you on here justice if we didn't talk about, being the NAPS president and hearing some of these things coming through the arbitration and grievance. I know you're the guy to call when someone's not paying their bill. So, and this whole networking thing, I know that was one of the topics you had on here was payments. So like, how important is it? I know you touched on it a little bit, but how important is it that when you're hiring out that you actually pay these people on time? And then let's go back and talk about how important is it to be patient and communicate clearly when you expect to be paid.
Right. And I agree with that. For example, I've seen some people where they've done a job and 2 days later it goes, I didn't get payment yet. Now it could be because they are really in need of the funds.
Mm-hmm.
There's payment can come in many different forms. It can come by check. It can come by ACH. It can come by credit card. ACH, if you don't know, is automated clearinghouse, which means electronic check that comes debited out of your checking account. I would tell process servers, and I find this quite large on a big scale, that when I tell a process server, hey, listen, I need this rush job. Oh, we need payment. No problem. Let me give you my credit card right now over the phone. I'll pay it right now. Oh, we don't take credit cards. So therefore, now I got a problem. I can't use them because they can't do the job. It has to be served tonight. I can't send them the job because I have no way of getting them the payment because it has to be served. And even if I FedEx it overnight, it's too late. So therefore, they just missed out on that opportunity because they didn't accept some kind of form of electronic payment. There's many different providers, merchant providers that a process server can take. Even a small process server or a small independent sole proprietor process server can take. There's
Square.
There's Stripe,
Square, PayPal.
There's many different ones that are authorized.net. They offer them right through your phone. You can send them a link. PayPal. Here's another one that's free. PayPal.
Yeah.
I did one yesterday to someone that they needed payment. Fine, here it is. PayPal. I send it to you. I have a PayPal account. If that's one of the key things, you want to be able to accept electronic payments of any form. If someone says, listen, I don't want to do that, but I want to send you a check, fine. They can send me a copy of the PDF of the check and I can deposit a PDF because all I do is scan it and upload it right to my bank. Okay, now I just got paid too.
Yeah. So talking about this is like, again, talking about networking, right? You don't want to burn bridges. That's the thing on both sides. So if you're using a server out in the field and you send it to them and, you get a feel that they're kind of wishy-washy about taking the job because they want to make sure they get paid, offer to pay them by credit card, offer to pay. Now, Mike, there's some people that would say, you don't want to pay them yet because you want to make sure they do the job. And I think after you get some experience, you learn that, once you've decided to send them the work, you got to pay them either way. Where it becomes your job is in the future, just don't use them anymore. It's kind of like if you go to a restaurant and eat and you had terrible service, you can try to not pay, but you might have the police called on you, right? And so you're better off just paying and then going, never going back again. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we do. We have like a hit list, we call it here, but I would say vast majority of all the process servers that I use or affiliates across the country are either they belong to a state association or the national association. And I tend to use people that belong to these things because they have an arbitration and grievance procedure to protect me. So let's just say I use Michael Reed. Michael Reed didn't do the job that I thought that he should have done. I have the right to say, hey, listen, I paid him to do this job. He didn't do it. He didn't give me the proof. I called him 6 times, whatever the situation is. And then I could turn around and, Michael belongs to these associations. And I could, if I wanted to, I could file a grievance, which then could jeopardize his membership. And then, of course, if should they find against him, whether it's a public reprimand or a private reprimand, they publish it in the newsletter, which who would want to have their name published saying, hey, I didn't do this and I was found in violation of these codes of ethics. So it's really important that you want to keep your name, that you're at the tippy top of your profession, that you're honorable, you have ethics, you do what you say you're going to do, and you pay people.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So, Mike, you did have some bonus tips that you shared with me that you wanted to talk about. So providing quotes for service is kind of what we've been talking about here, right?
Yes. This is really important. I noticed that you'll get quotes from different people on different things. And when they give you a quote, they'll say $75. Okay, $75. What is that all going to do? So, for example, for one, I have a whole template that we put out. So let's just say that I'm going to serve a paper in Los Angeles. So this is my standard language that I use. I say routine service is $75 per person per address. If notary is required for completion of service, is an additional $15 per affidavit of service. The server will attempt the service within 3 days of receiving the documents on a routine basis if received by the cutoff time. Pricing and additional service levels for faster turnaround times can be verified on our website, and I provide the link. Then I say underneath that, we will attempt the service up to 5 attempts or until the first court date expires for the first address provided for service fee. And then underneath that, then I put down, please click the following link to create an account and place an order online today. Once you have created the account, you can instantly place orders, upload your documents directly into our portal, track assignments, access documents, conform copies and invoices. After you place the order, you will receive a confirmation email saying your order has been received. And thank you for choosing Direct Legal. Now, that is standard language. I let the client know what the cost is, what they expect, how many days before I make our first attempt for the fee that they requested, how many attempts I'm going to do, and how they can send me the work. I find this time and time again that clients don't provide all the details. It's like sending 7, 8, 9 emails back and forth. Okay, when are you going to try to attempt? Then they say this. How many attempts will you make? Then it's another email. Listen, if you make a template and you send it out, it covers everything in one shot, you're going to look more professional. And then following clients and affiliates instructions, the next part is really important. I'll get an email saying, hey, Mike, here's the job. Listen, the paper from Florida out of business on an agent only can be served between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m., which don't understand that law in Florida, but it is.
Yeah.
And I'll highlight it. I circle it. I even pointed out to the processor, please make sure you follow. You only can serve between these 2 hours. Any other time, it's invalid. So it's important to read clients' instructions or affiliates' instructions, an email signature. This is free advertisement. I'll get people that have a Gmail account, Yahoo account, and it says the fee is X dollars. Thanks, Bill. And their email is billjoe27@gmail.com. Now, I don't know who Bill Joe is, and I don't know what company he is. He doesn't have any phone numbers. I can't contact him. All I got is this generic email. It's important to put the name of your name, your company name, your address, your phone number, your email, your fax, any contact information so they can make way with you and make contact. And then the other part is you can put some extra hyperlinks in your email signature, such as connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I can't tell you how many people I have sent my email to that says this, and people have either connected with me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, And then underneath that, I got a thing that says, we're your California connection and legal support, like a little slogan in process serving, court filing, e-filing, skip tracing, out-of-state depositions, and writ services. You're now throwing some of the services that you specialize in, letting them know, hey, I can do these things, if you did not know. We also have another thing underneath that, which, mind you, it depends on how big your font is did you know that Direct Legal offers clients a web portal where you can place orders, upload document, track assignments. It's available 24/7 through a secure portal. It's HIPAA compliant. You can e-file today, sign up, and discover the difference. This is one of our marketing things, and it's all in our email that goes out every time.
Yeah.
It's very simple to send. And I've taught this in many different associations as a template. And matter of fact, last week, I actually saw my duplicate of my template that I actually gave in a symposium that I gave out. And I gave when I was doing a tutorial on it. And I'm like, wow, somebody took the lead and used exactly that. I got to use that company just because of that.
I know I stole mine from you back in like 2015. I was like, it's really professional looking, and the link and everything. But here's the thing I learned, Mike, from you in large part, is that as in this industry, in legal industry, I think altogether, is we live and die by our emails. Of course, we have these other tools that we use. If you're smart, you're using some kind of process serving software to keep things in order. But how many times do you go to your email and just go to the bar on top and search, someone's last name or maybe a certain document type? Now, imagine you're a paralegal doing that same thing and you're typing process server or deposition or anything like that. Google's going to find your signature in their email, and guess what's going to pop up at the very top? Your email where you just said, hey, here, your proof of service is attached. You didn't talk about depositions at all, but it was in your signature. So now guess who's top of mind for them? It's a genius marketing tactic. It's really good.
Yeah, so it's served us well, and I tell people many times, when you guys get an email, since emails are free, or even if you have your own domain, it's very easy to have dozens of emails for different things. Like our main one here is process at Direct Legal or orders at Direct Legal. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to have 27 of them. We have 50 some odd emails easily, and they go to different people, and you have them staged on who gets what emails. Some of them are carbon copied to different people. So if one person's out of the desk, and another person gets it. But let's just say you only have one email. Get something that resonates with your company name, whatever it is. If it's XYZ process, get XYZ process at gmail.com. Just don't get it something where it's generic and it's part of your year of birth or date of birth or whatever that they put on.
Baby girl 521 or
it's like, image is everything.
Yeah.
You could look like a $1 million company, but yet only do 100,000. You can make yourself look bigger than what you are without being it. So
and you want to.
Everything. And you want to say, hey, I'm professional. I'm ready to conduct business. I'm ready to accept your assignment today.
Yeah. I learned that early on when I was doing eviction services for this one client, and I only did like one serve a month for them. They didn't have a whole lot, and they would send me work, and there's only one. I really like them. They're really friendly, and so I just like killed it for them every single time, not expecting anything other than that. Like when they say, "Wow, you were so fast." And then one day there's only two attorneys in the office. And then one day the second attorney, who never really gave me any work at all, said, can I speak to you? Like, Terry's been saying how good you've been doing and you're just this amazing server. I actually am an attorney for the collection agency in town. Could you potentially handle, 30 or 40 jobs a day? Does your business handle that? I was like, tried to stay straight faced this is when I very first started. And I was like, yeah, we got servers all over. And if I didn't know that we had this network of process servers and that I had friends in all these other cities, I think process serving, when I first started, I was like, how is this legal? I thought, how is it legal that I can send a job to Mike? The guy pays me, you serve it, or your guy, actually you give it to someone else too. And then he serves it. And you pay him, I pay you, the client pays me, and nobody cares. They don't care. As long as they get that proof of service signed, and it can even have my name on it, and all you guys are cool with it. It's the only industry that I know, or at least one I've been involved in, that it works like that. And so network really is your net worth in this business.
Yes.
For sure. So Mike, you've just been a wealth of knowledge here. And so how can everybody keep up with you? I know Direct Legal and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Direct Legal. Our headquarters is in Los Angeles. We have 5 offices throughout the state of California. You can make contact with me. My email is mkern, Kern, @directlegal.com. And my phone number is 213-927-2240 is my direct line to my desk if you want to make contact with me. Willing to share anything you guys need, because I mean, obviously, whether I was small or big, I've always been trying to help the fellow processor. And I always say, well, why do you want to help the other person? I go, listen, we need an individual process server to help the bigger people. It takes a village, as we would say in the day. So it takes a group of people. I just got a new processor that's been around for 20 years. Never knew of him, up in Northern California. And I'm trying to tell him, hey, he needs to get a website built, this and that. And he's struggling because of COVID, obviously. Clients are closed and this and that. And now I started to use him. And I was like, listen, you need to start doing this. He goes, oh, okay. Well, no one's ever told me. I said, well, then I started teaching him certain things and sent him one of my PowerPoints. And he said it's been really helpful to him that, things that come natural to me or Mike may not be natural to someone else. Yeah. So if I can spread that knowledge to someone else and they can benefit for it, great.
That's good. That's good. Well, guys, I think we got a few more minutes here. We could do some questions and answers. So let's see if I can, I guess you could try to turn on your camera. If you have a question and you want to come on, just turn on your camera, and then we can ask some questions. But while we figure that out, if anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and turn on your camera. We could do the Q&A session here. And while we do that, I'm going to bring up the the Mighty Website Builder, my information here. So if you guys need a website, or you have any need of that, you could definitely go. Right now we're having a fall promotion. It's only $525. Which is 84% off of our setup fee. You can go check it out. We do everything up. So we have Lawrence on. Lawrence, you got a question? Oh, you're still muted, my friend. Or not muted, but let's see. It doesn't show muted, but your audio is definitely off. Mike, can you hear him at all?
No.
Let's see here.
I want to.
Yeah.
I can see him.
I know. Lawrence, why don't you try? Oh, something happened here. Can you recommend? Okay, we got questions in the chat. So maybe Lawrence, you want to try to type it in the chat. I'm not sure what's going on with your audio. Do you see the chat, Mike?
Yes, I see the chat now. So I see it from Joanne Thompson. Okay, can we recommend processing software? Okay, there are several out there on the market currently. Mike uses one versus none. So I'll give you I would say the top 4 in the profession, in my opinion. One is Process Server Toolbox, which is right in Florida, Orlando, Florida. I think their headquarters out of.
Yeah.
The other one is TriStar Software, which is based out of California. The other one is Serve Manager, which is based out of Denver, Colorado. Great. They also, Serve Manager is owned by ServeNow, which is a large process serving directory. And if you're not a member of their directory, it'd be highly recommended to join them. And the 4th is Legal Connect, which is another big software based out of California, which I use Legal Connect and I use TriStar. I use 2 different ones. The 2 different platforms give me different way of doing things. But mostly everything for me is on Legal Connect. I would say the one that has the most users or subscribers is somewhere between Serve Manager and PST. I don't know. They both have quite a bit of users on their database. It all goes by price point, what you want the software to do, how you can have your clients on board, if your client can place online. They both have their options, and they both offer all kinds of promotions. So I would definitely ask the demo to see these softwares before you actually invest money and time into it. Have them send you a video. Ask them if they have a YouTube video that you can see how their software works. I think both of them do have it, but I would say that would be the two big softwares that I would say that are out there on the market that many process servers across the nation are using. But
Yeah,
it's very well worth the money. So even if you spent $50 a month for a software, the ease of what it's going to give you is unimaginable. For example, it'll do your billing, it'll do your collections, it'll have the client take credit cards. It's got full automation, both of these portals. So, and your clients, and you can slap it on your website, you get people to send you orders, dispatch, and so forth. So I highly recommend looking into getting some kind of software management system in your business plan.
That's good. Yeah. So I mean, we could go on about softwares forever, but I think you brought up a good point when you're talking about the different locations, is the idea that they do different things for those areas. I recommend people who are in California take a strong look at Legal Connect because of the kind of all-in-one solution. I know TriStar has a similar kind of situation, but just the ease of use of Legal Connect. Now, Serve Manager kind of across the board, across the nation, with their proofs. They have some of the most proofs. I mean, we could do a whole video on this really, but PST in Florida is a huge benefit if you're in Florida, because almost everyone has it, and so they can do document trading between other Florida process servers. It's huge. So
yeah, that is, like if you belong to the National Association, they got a secure transfer software, and it's a benefit of membership that you can use it to transfer documents securely through this particular portal. There's another company also out of Florida called Paper Tracker, and he also has all the capabilities too, and onboarding and so forth. Another one to look at. You also can look at NAPS and look at their vendors. It'll have a list of several of the software companies there, and as well as the ones that I just mentioned. But definitely take a look at these softwares, what they have to offer, and what they're going to give you for the fee that they're going to charge.
That's good. Yeah. So just to kind of circle back real quick, there's no other questions yet. So just kind of circle back, a question about NAPS. So, we could go on a lot about this, but my main focus maybe in this question is to let everyone know the multifaceted importance of being a member of NAPS. You mentioned Serve Now. The importance of that, just to kind of highlight, is the idea that like if you search process server anywhere in the country, Serve Now is like boom first, like almost every time first.
Well, and with a lot, and then if it's not them, it's NAPS.
It's NAPS, exactly.
And then NAPS has a job post. So if you're a member of NAPS, and you get, because NAPS markets, they go to a lot of trade shows, they go to paralegal conferences, they go to NOWs, they go to the lawyers conferences that we attend. They constantly are promoting the members of NAPS, saying why it's best to use our members, and why it's beneficial to use the members. And then, so you'll get another. So if I don't know who affiliate is, let's say in Wisconsin, I don't have one, let's just say, and I want to go in, I can go into the NAPS website, go in and put in where I have the service. It will send out to all the affiliates in that answer to send me a job quote directly. The others don't see what anybody's saying. It's an A to B thing, but it gets distributed to all the members in that district that cover that area, and you can get multiple job quotes. This one says $40, this one says $80, this one says $70, and then you have to read what they're going to offer you. I've had people offer $25 to serve a paper, and they just say $25, Joe. Okay, delete. Has no signature, no contact, no nothing. I don't care if it's free. I don't want to use that person. I don't trust that person.
Yeah.
So there is the job post is a big thing on NAPS to get work from other people, other processors, as well as law firms and secretaries across the country.
Yeah, being a member of NAPS is like, I think that's why I was saying so multifaceted. Is like, a lot of people when they first sign up, it's to get that directory listing. But from a marketing standpoint, I just want to highlight the idea of these backlinks. If you look up process server, and I guess we could do it, but if you look up process server, you could see just that word itself, all the top ranking websites. You're going to get a couple of the largest companies, but for the most part, you're going to get ServeNow. You're going to get, I think it's Texas. Last time I looked, TPS or Texas TPSA, I think, and FAPS, and then NAP. Just like all the associations, they have like a domain score of 90 or above, and that's exactly what you're trying to backlink to. So the idea that you could pay $150 or $200 to NAPS and then get that backlink, potentially get work from the job post. And then, of course, like you said, if there's some server out in the middle of nowhere, you don't know them from Adam, but you know that they're professional enough to pay for this association membership and to be a member for so long, maybe 5-10 years. You can look at that. Do you consider that when you look at that? I mean, what if they're only a member for 6 months?
Well, yeah, so a lot of people say, well, because it puts the year of the membership. So my dad for example, my father was a founding member. And when they decided to form in 1982 in Las Vegas, my father had become a founding member. And he was a big proponent because anything that protects the profession is got to be good for business. NAPS will send, for example, let's say there's a legislation going in one state versus another state. NAPS has literally sent people or people on the ground there to fight different legislative bills. There was a mailing bill last year in Hawaii that most people probably don't even know about. NAPS sent people there to fight the bill there, and we actually were able to defeat the bill, and unbeknownst to anybody, didn't even know it even took place. But the moment that something gets passed, people will know it, because once a mailing bill gets through that they say eliminate process, and you can do it all by first class mail. Once it happens in one state, it sets a precedence. And before you know it, they say, well, let's copy this law, and I want to apply it to California or Texas or New York or whatever state it is. So that's why NAPS is great for fighting legislation, as well as the state associations, because there's a lot of state associations that fight legislation that has issues for individual process servers. Florida's dealt with dozens of issues. California's done with a lot. So is Texas. And of course, the one that's dealt with the most, I think, is New York. They got all kinds of laws because of a person created a mass sewer service saying they serve people and they did it. And then, of course, then they put on some really strict laws. So, it's really important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so like you're saying, protecting the association, killing those mailing bills when they come up, and definitely a big proponent of associations. And then lastly, just to kind of, curtail this whole association conversation, you've been a great example of going to associations outside of our industry, but customers of our industry. So, we want to talk a little bit about that, like paralegals associations, or hosting these luncheons and stuff like that. Like, how do you even get started with that?
Yeah. So I constantly would advertise and go to these paralegal conferences and so forth. And then they would say, okay, you want to speak? And then I would talk about different topics that they want to talk about. And then I would do a PowerPoint or a full-blown presentation. And then, you have luncheons when you sit down with all these paralegals, and they have these huge tables that hold, these big round tables of 12, and you get, hey, who do you work for? Who do you work? Oh, really? Yeah, that's great. Hey, do you know so-and-so? And then before you know, you're having these conversations, and you would see them after 3, 4, 5 times over a couple of years span. And then last year, I had the honor to represent Legal Secretaries, Inc., which is Legal Secretaries professional now. And I was the master of ceremonies last August. Not this past August, but 19, I was this master ceremony for hundreds of paralegals in a room. I was also the vendor, but I was also making a presentation at the time of a particular topic affecting California. And I ran the entire end of the meeting, and it was great. I got lots of recognition for it. I was asked to speak in other county associations. They wanted me to speak with the same topic to their constituents in other county. So now my name gets around. Can I have some business cards? Can I have some flyers? You know, and before you know it, you're garnering business.
Yeah.
Now it costs you money to make money. You know, I sponsored them thing. Let's do this. Let's sponsor this event. Let's put $100 this, $100 that. Let's put out a raffle. These are the things that you need to do. You know, your name will get around.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to look at it. What am I going to get out of my $300 or what my $500 I spent? Listen, sometimes you have to spend money 2, 3, 4 times over a long period of time before you get that kind of recognition, should we say, in the profession. I just try to show that I have integrity. I care about our fellow process servers. I'm all about the growth of the profession and the protection. And as long as you have your head in the right place, everything else will follow behind for you automatically.
Yeah, and I think it follows the principle that you provide value to somebody without expectation in return, and it's gonna, whoever was leading that organization, these paralegals organization, they're very influential oftentimes, and so you are speaking for them, and you're like taking this burden they were going to have to assign somebody else or do it themselves, and so you taking this burden, or you're willing to do this speech for them, or be the master of ceremonies. You just made a huge deposit in that relationship. And so now that person's like, wow, this guy Mike is a real good guy. And so it just creates this positive, you can call it karma, you can call it positive reciprocity, whatever you want to call it. In business, it's how business is done. It's how you make connections. And really what business is making, building relationships. And so, I appreciate you, Mike, for your relationship and getting to know you over these years. And you just been a great example. And so I appreciate you coming. I don't see any other questions here. Did you have any other parting piece of advice, Mike?
No, I just be yourself. I tell people, don't put on a show for anybody. Be who you are. And if you show that you are a certain caliber person, that you have integrity and that you can get the job done, that's what makes you set yourself apart from the others.
That's good.
And I'll hear a key part. Don't ever do something that's going to jeopardize your livelihood. I get people all the time that said, hey, just leave the paper of the document, say you personally served them. Just had it yesterday. Yeah. Had a pro-per that came into our office and told me that. I said, no, I won't do that. She said she'd pay us extra. I said, ma'am, you couldn't pay me enough to take the job. So, but people will do a lot for $1. You'd be a bit surprised. So I'm just saying, integrity is everything.
Yeah, it's good. Good. And you can't be a member of these associations for very long if you don't have it.
Correct. And it's something that's very high on the list of joining if you're not a member already.
That's good. Good. Mike, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for joining today's mastermind. The whole idea here is a 10-week mastermind. We're going to knock out as much value as we can. Definitely come back next week. We're going to be doing this thing for 10 weeks, and we're skipping the week of Thanksgiving, and then we're skipping the week. It'll be over right before the week of Christmas. So hope to see you guys back every Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Right? Yeah, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're not in one of those time zones, well, you got to figure it out for yourself. And I will give you guys a few more minutes. Go ahead and leave your information in the chat, and we will go ahead and post that. Put your business name or your name and your phone number, and we'll go ahead, and anyone else who is on can access that here. I won't post it online, actually. You guys just go ahead and comment it. And definitely this mastermind, and Mike can attest to this, we've been, we just all got to know each other. Maybe at the most 20 people before, we'd have come on, and we'd, Jacob, and even Eric, and some of these people, we got to know each other.
Michelle, a lot of people, we've made a lot of friends. You come in as a group to network, but then it turns into something more. You become friends. And I think that's even the better outcome for me.
Yeah. Ken Ringo. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah. Danielle. So, if you guys keep coming on and you keep coming on the mastermind, sometimes one week, Mike won't be here or another person won't be here or whatever, but we'll when we have time, you jump on. So that's kind of the idea. So thanks again, Mike, and thank you guys. And let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next week.
See you, everyone.
See you guys. See you, Mike.
Bye. Bye.